Trump is sinking in denial with his latest Truth Social post. I'm doing really well in the presidential race, leading in almost all of the real polls, and this despite the Democrats unprecedentedly changing their primary winning candidate, sleepy Joe Biden, midstream with a candidate, Kamala Harris, who failed to get even a single primary vote and was the first out of 15 Democrat candidates to quit the race. I did great in 2016 and won, did much better in 2020, getting millions more votes than 16, but this 2024 is thus far my best campaign. The most enthusiasm and spirit, etc. My team is doing a great job despite the constant 8-year obstacle of dealing with the fake news and low self-esteem leakers. We're going to win big and take our country back from the radical left losers, fascists, and communists. We will very quickly make America great again. Wait, he's doing really well in the polls?
You go back to June, what you see? You saw Trump on average up by 2 points. Very similar to what we saw in the New York Times Siena College poll. Look at where we are now, the August margin between Harris and Trump, and look at what we see here. We see Harris up by 2 points. Again, no clear leader, but that 4-point movement, very similar to what we saw in the New York Times Siena College poll. And this is what we're seeing across the polling data. It's not just one poll, it's not just one pollster, it's across pollsters, it's across polls.
And just for the record, Trump did not do better in 2020 than he did in 2016. If he did, he would be president. I know he thinks that he's president and that he thinks he won, but yeah, no, he didn't.
Do you remember in 2016 we won, and then we did much better here in 2020, but lots of things happened. And then in the end we won, but by that time it was a little late.
The truth is that Trump can't handle his, success fading away, and he's quite furious about it because he might go to jail.
Say it.
Are you worried at all about the size of Harris's crowds?
Oh, give me a break. Listen, I had 107,000 people in New Jersey. You didn't report it. I'm so glad you asked. What did she have yesterday? 2,000 people? If I ever had 2,000 people, you'd say my campaign is finished. I have 10 times, 20 times, 30 times the crowd size. And no, they never say the crowd was big. That's why I'm always saying turn around the cameras.
Kamala is beating Trump in everything he cares about, and he is furious about it.
And whether the personal attacks are good, bad, I mean, she certainly attacks me personally. She actually called me weird. He's weird. It was just a soundbite. And she called J.D. and I weird. He's not weird. He was a great student at Yale. He went to Ohio State, graduated in 2 years, at the top of his class, and all of these different things. She's weird in her policy. Who wouldn't want to have strong borders? Who doesn't want to have lower taxes?
So it is amazing to see these past few weeks because you are seeing MAGA react without a lot of, their talking points that are given to them by, the experts, the consultants, the people getting paid the money. And they've just come out flailing with just, she's not black, because Jamaica, famous for not having black people, just Indians, right? So you have this campaign and, the MAGA movement in general spouting these nonsensical, arguments and talking points, like attacking Tim Walz's record as a veteran, but attacking it in ways that are just ridiculous. And finally we're seeing them sort of, this is a group that doesn't like to play defense. That's sort of the ethos of like never play defense, and finally they're having to play defense. And great, fantastic. So you're seeing them flail also because they're against like a real candidate. Kamala is a candidate that can go out and campaign and that can do an aggressive campaign schedule and can speak not like she is 82 years old and oh my God, we're not doing this every time she grabs the microphone. Like we're not being like, oh my God, please. Yeah. So, and we're seeing what a weak candidate Trump is. I mean, we knew he was a weak candidate, but everyone else is seeing it. That's, not a high-level expert like you and me. So let's see, pros and cons, pros and cons. So listen, trans hysteria, I mean, that works great for, the MAGA movement. That is, they've been doing it, just demonizing LGBTQ, demonizing teachers. And I mean, hey, it's getting a lot of real fired up people that don't really care about policy, because there's sort of a lack of policy under Trump. They don't know about Project 2025. They barely know about Agenda 47. They're just like, whatever, bro. Just do the thing you're doing, because we just want trans people out of the bathrooms. So, the MAGA movement is great at just creating mentally ill people that are trans obsessed and obsessed with children's genitals. And let me see, I don't want to say they're doing great with it. You get it. And then what are they what are they doing wrong? Their rhetoric on women, and JD Vance opening his mouth saying anything with regards to, his whole, under the guise of protecting the nuclear family, and, women this, cat ladies, all that nonsense. So they've just fumbled the bag on that one. Pro for the MAGA campaign: southern border, southern border, southern border, southern border. That is just dominating the rhetoric. They have laid amazing groundwork for when Trump wants to say the election was stolen, because they're just going to say, well, they brought in all these illegals. Mike Johnson introduced that bill that Democrats wouldn't advance, and it was saying, well, we need to vote. You have to show proof of citizenship, which we need to proof of citizenship. You mean a driver's license? You mean I have to register to vote? Because to register to vote, you need a social security number and a driver's license. You can get a provisional ballot that, with a driver's license, but it's going to be rejected if you don't have a social security number, because you're not a United States citizen. Okay, but that type of nuance is lost on MAGA. I mean, now that it's lost, the ones that can understand it don't care. They know it works. And that hysteria that Elon Musk is spreading every day, that Fox News is spreading every day, Donald Trump spreads at every rally, is great at creating this hysteria and morphing this xenophobia and great replacement theory into, at a certain subset of people. So that's getting, if you ask any of them, you say southern border, and they'll all start foaming at the mouth collectively. Kamala Harris's campaign: Kamala and Walz. Walz, amazing candidate. Kamala, amazing candidate. They have counter message. They have, they've come out and responded to, the negative messaging about them. They responded quickly. Oh my God, Democrats responding to counter messaging in real time. Like, you have to forgive me, I'm not used to that at all. Like, oh my God, like we've been with this for like years. Like, the MAGA Republicans would just say stuff and no one would respond to it, and we're like, wait, there's gonna be no statement, and like, what? Except like maybe some snarky little, post from, Hillary's campaign or something, like, yeah. So like, oh, that's a breath of fresh air. Walz, the weird campaign, calling them weird, it's amazing to me, actually. I mean, this is a group that loves to, other everyone and create them as the other group. And then finally they're being called weird. So they're realizing they're the others this whole time. And you see, Walz, amazing. I was there at the first rally with Kamala and Walz when the nomination was first announced, and I got to watch him give a speech for the first time. It was phenomenal. She was phenomenal. They came out, talked about gun violence, healthcare, and a host of other things. Just the two of them, phenomenal. Walz is like he's like, he's both America's dad, and he can sort of take the offensive at the same time and not seem like a little bully about it. And so great. Cons. Palestine, there's a genocide currently taking place. It's happening like as we're watching this video. I hope by the time you watch this video, it's not happening, but it's happening. Yeah. And I mean, if they were to do something about it, AIPAC would, come down on them like the wrath of God and, swing the election the other way. So, yeah, so AIPAC. Oy. And that's how that's going. I mean, that is a, they listed a lot of pros, and that's one, liability for this campaign that could determine the election. Right? A lot of people are very upset about this. I mean, granted, Kamala has some leeway given that she's the new candidate and she can sort of create this narrative of like, hey, out with the old, in with the new, baby. That will, that gives you some lead time, but, there's people dying every day. There's weapons that have just been approved to go to Israel. And so, I mean, something needs to be done and fast. I mean, I'd love it if she would just outright condemn Netanyahu, like wholesale, and just say like, listen, we need to have new elections. I mean, Chuck Schumer said it. This is Chuck Schumer. I mean, I've been to protests outside his house. I mean, he's not, I would not call him, Palestinian at all. Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Here's the one thing. Trump is going around calling, Biden, calling everyone like a Palestinian. Anyone who's like Kamala and all them, and like not calling them Hamas, which is a favorite tactic, right? Like, oh, if I don't like it, it's Hamas. Calling them like a Palestinian, which is kind of like, right? Like it's nasty. Like you're not even, it's not a subset of Palestinians. It's the entire, race, ethnicity, nationality. You're just like gonna throw them all in the same thing. Yeah, woo. That and attacking Walz's service record and saying that Kamala isn't black. I mean, keep that up. So, whew. As I checked, Kamala was finally, leading Trump in the polls in swing states, thankfully. I think the last poll I checked, the Fox News poll, she was behind Trump by 1 point, but ahead in swing states, but not enough of a lead to account for like margin of error right now. So, still too close to call.